Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Soapbox Sports, clean takes, bold debates, straight from the soapbox. Yes, we are back in studio. I don't know if anybody happened to catch last week's blunder, but oh my goodness, we had an interesting show. We'll call it an interesting show. Brian, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Just got back from the Bahamas, but we owe the people. So we're going to put on a show for y'all today, and we ready to get in on all the Christmas Day fun that we witnessed this past week.
Yes, sir. We talking Christmas Day. We talking NFL, of course. We talking college football. We're talking who's the coach of the year. We're talking about trades in the NBA. Stick with us, y'all, for the next 45. Brian, let's try and keep it at 45 today. For the next 45 minutes, we are going to be rounding out all of the topics across all sports, well, majority of the sports. Welcome in, y'all. Brian, you want to start us off, kick us off in the NFL, go around the NFL? Who we starting with, man?
Let's go to the AFC East. We had a big game between, I would say, two juggernauts in the past, the Bills versus Eagles. And boy, was that a snooze fest, an offensive blunder on all sides of the ball. But the game was very close as it came down to a 2-point conversion, which Josh Allen could not complete. Chris, is this a sign of things to come for the Bills? Can Josh Allen carry the Bills on a postseason run? What are your thoughts on the latest Bill blunder?
Last night's game was interesting because I felt like the Bills should have won. And this is kind of the problem with the Eagles, more so than it is bigging up the Bills. But that's a game you have to win. And I don't really necessarily blame Josh. Yes, he could have played better for sure, but you got to take that extra point. Momentum's on your side. The Eagles hadn't scored in the second half. You're at home. We're moving the ball pretty effectively in the second half. Take the points, go into overtime, win the game. Do I trust Josh to carry them in a postseason run? It's tough, man, because I feel like he has no choice. The big bad boogeyman is out the way. Patrick Mahomes is not here. There's no better opportunity than now. Now you don't have the best Bills team that we've seen, which means you're going to have to put on that Superman cape. And when we've seen Josh Allen put on that Superman cape, he's prone to make some really just big errors and blunders and missteps. So am I going to trust them? I feel like I have no choice but to trust them, but I'm not really confident in the facts. So I'm going to say yes, I do trust them to make a long postseason run. But would I be surprised if they lost in the AFC Championship game or in the Super Bowl? I wouldn't be surprised. I just don't feel like the Bills are a complete team enough to go all the way. But I trust Josh Allen. I trust him enough. Let me say that. What about you, Brian? How you feeling, man?
Chris, even Superman lost the fight. And at this point, Josh Allen can do no more for the Bills. What you saw at the end of the game was Josh Allen running out of gas. He literally had to put everything on his shoulders. And yes, Josh Allen missed a wide open throw. But it's like, my God, what else do I have to do? He cannot make a single mistake in order for the Bills to win. And you thought the Eagles defense was good? Mm. They got the Texans in the AFC, the Jaguars in the AFC,
Broncos,
the Chargers, the Broncos. That was Pee-wee y'all just played last night. The real deal is on your side of the ball. So can Josh Allen carry them through the postseason? No. The Bills need more weapons. And honestly, Sean McDermott, the GM, they need to start looking because their jobs might be on the line because this was supposed to be their year.
We're not going to get into that, but Sean McDermott gone if they don't do it? It's an interesting take.
Wasting the prime. He's wasting his prime.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. So, listen, you trust him?
No, I do not trust him.
Okay.
I do not trust him. But let's go on the other side. The Eagles, who actually won the game. Nick Sirianni was talking a whole bunch of smack going into the locker room, like they just dominated. But if you really look at the stats, the Eagles didn't get a first down in the entire second half. 0 completions in the second half. Was that a good win for the Eagles? Are they actually contenders?
Man, it's tough, Brian. Again, this is like really, really, really tough because on the one hand, you got to have some semblance of a consistent offense in order for you to win football games. But we always say defense wins championships. And I know you said it was kind of pee-wee-ish, but over the last few weeks, Vic Fangio has these boys humming. He has these boys humming. But you held the Green Bay Packers to 7 points. You held the Chiefs, I think, like 16 points. So you're holding good teams to limited scoring opportunities. So I got to say that the defense gives them a chance. The problem is that offense, man. I'm pretty sure we agree a little bit on this. So indulge me a little bit. I grew up in Jersey. And one thing we have an abundance of in Jersey is Italian people. So I have a little bit of insight into how Italians think. Hence why my name is Lucky, because I tried to do it for Lucky Luciano, even though my name is Chris. Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni. Kevin Patullo is the OC. Nick Sirianni is the head coach. They have to be friends. Their families have to be close because the only way he hasn't fired this guy is if he's going to get grief from his mother. And the one thing Italian men do is listen to their mothers, bro. So their mothers have to be close in some way, shape, or form. Somebody can just research that. I'm just throwing this out into the ether. Could be wrong entirely. But their mothers have to be close since they're both Italian. I think they're both from New Jersey, New York area. And the only reason he can't get rid of him is because he's going to get grief from his family, his mom, or his wife. Because this offense has been terrible all year. It's been consistently bad all year. And there's no signs of it getting any better. They're not a contender, Brian. Even though their defense does win championships, you're not winning games with 16 total yards in a half. -2 yards passing in a half. And this is the second time this year that's happened with Jalen. So they're not a contender, no, even though their defense states that they are. It's weird. Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, I'm on the opposite side. They are a contender. And for some of the reasons you just mentioned, Italian and just being lucky. The Eagles are lucky. Sometimes you just need the ball to roll on your side, and the dice is rolling in their favor very often. Some might say it might run out, but the Eagles have enough talent on all sides of the ball to win a championship. I just feel like they need to get lucky. They will need to put up points, but maybe that defense can shut down a lot of these prolific offenses that's in the NFC. You seen what the 49ers just did. Yeah. The Bears offense is looking prolific. Don't forget the Rams. So the Seahawks, there's a lot of great offenses out there, but I don't believe those teams travel well. And I believe if anyone has to go to Philly, it's going to be a problem. And I believe Philly can travel. So I'm going to still hold on to the hope that the Eagles are a legit contender. I'm not marking them as my favorite, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
It's just annoying, though, Brian. You have much talent on that offensive side of the ball.
Very.
You would think that would be their strongest side of the ball, if anything. But
I think their game plan, in which it has been all year, is run up the score in the first 2 quarters and shut it down. Park the bus. Park the bus. And that's it. Because we don't like it as football fans and analysts. But guess what? They end up in W's on the column. So
that's fair.
So I'll leave it there. Even though the Eagles were not impressive by any point, I hate Nick Sirianni's smug remarks in his face after a game. When y'all are terrible, he honestly, he's the pee-wee that I mentioned on the other side of the ball. It doesn't look like he belongs there as the coach. But yeah,
I like him. I just don't think he wants to fire his boy, and that's that's my only gripe with him.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we can move on from a QB who's getting lucky and not playing well to 2 unlucky QBs who were playing well, but unfortunately got injured. We could talk about these 2 teams, Brian. It's a QB shuffle, as we're calling it here. So it's Jordan Love and Lamar Jackson. So which one needs their QB in order to make a deep playoff run? Do the Packers need Jordan Love or do the Ravens need Lamar Jackson?
I don't know. I feel like there's an obvious answer. And the answer is the Packers need Jordan Love. Now, Malik Willis did look awesome, but there's more tape on him now. Teams are going to be prepared for what they just saw. Tyler Huntley has been the backup for the Ravens longer than Lamar Jackson been the quarterback of the Ravens. That guy's been there longer than Lamar. He's just Lamar, adjacent, a poor man's Lamar Jackson. And I think the Ravens showed you they got the king in the backfield. Just hand him the ball. And they should have been doing that all season knowing that Lamar Jackson is hurt. So I'm going with the Packers needing Jordan Love more to make a deep playoff run.
I agree with you.
Yeah, you can't disagree.
Yeah, I can't disagree. Because listen, what the last game showed us is that, you got to run King Henry. I don't care if Lamar's there or not. You got to give Derrick Henry his touches. In the playoffs, if y'all really are serious about trying to make a deep playoff run, getting to the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl, whatever the case may be, Derrick Henry needs at least 25 touches a game. It's really just that simple. 25 touches a game. You honestly shouldn't even throw the ball. You shouldn't. You don't need to. Sure, maybe on like a 3rd and 2, maybe if you want to get a couple yards, but the Ravens have what they need to win, and that's a run game.
Mm-hmm.
And that run game is stout. When Derrick Henry gets downhill and it's fourth quarter, he's been wearing you down all game. Nobody's trying to tackle him. You think the Green Bay Packers were trying to tackle him on what was it, Saturday? No. So no, I agree with you. I think the Green Bay does need Jordan Love more, especially since Micah Parsons went down. The Ravens, I'm not gonna say they don't need Lamar, but I think they can win a playoff game without him. I wouldn't be surprised.
Listen, football is played in the cold. And when it's cold, what do you gotta do? Run the ball.
Run the ball.
And what we know is that they have King Henry. They can run the ball. They just have to commit to it. And that was the biggest thing the whole season with the Ravens. We were all confused. Derrick Henry will break off a few runs. He won't get a touch the whole entire second half. So, yeah, I think we both agree there. So we're going to keep going to the marquee matchups for Week 18. These are some big games the NFL set up precisely with a lot of divisional games.
Setup is the key word.
Yeah, set up. It's smart by the matchmakers themselves. So the first marquee matchup is between the 49ers and the Seahawks. The reason for the significance is this is for the division. And I believe for the entire
seed.
Yeah. Yep, for the 1 seed. So home playoff games and only 2 games you have to win to go to the Super Bowl. So, Chris, who you got? 49ers versus Seahawks.
I'm going to say the 49ers.
Woo, you recency bias for sure.
For sure. I was big up in the Seahawks on last week's blunder show.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is we've seen Sam Darnold in these spots. Yes, he overcame those 2 interceptions last week versus the Rams, but you still threw those 2 interceptions and some questionable calls there down the end. The reason I'm going with the 49ers is because they have an opportunity to do what the Rams did and what Tampa Bay did. And that's host the Super Bowl. That's host the Super Bowl throughout. Have home court throughout. Don't got to travel. Everybody comes to Santa Clara.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so they'd be the first team to actually do it in NFL history without having to go on the road and hosting the Super Bowl in San Francisco. Technically, it's San Francisco. So I think they'll be up and motivated for it. And then just the way Brock Purdy's playing, I think the confidence is back. And they're not healthy, and they're still playing well. So I think they'll have some juice going into this game. And then Sam Darnold in a big spot. You just got to have some question marks, even though he showed something in that last outing.
Cuckoo! The Seahawks are here, and they're dangerous, and I got them winning this game. Sam Darnold won a big game. Was it last week? Yeah, coming back, beating the Rams, taking the division from them. I got them winning this game. The Seahawks defense creates turnovers. I think they have the most. Their defense have the most touchdowns this year. So I'm going on the Seahawks defense. The 49ers are banged up. They're going to want to shoot out, but the Seahawks can fly too. Let's go to the next game. Bucks versus Panthers. Yuck. Just straight poo. I'm going to throw a dart at the wall. Any, mini, mighty, mo. I think it's the Bucks. Who you got?
Honestly, I'm looking up who's home. Like, that's it. Like, I really don't care. I think the Panthers are home.
Panthers home? Okay. So you got Panthers?
Yeah.
You think any of these teams win a playoff game?
No.
Okay.
No chance.
Let's keep going. Steelers versus Ravens. Who would have thunk? the Steelers with a loss. Who you got this game?
That's a tough one. That's a very tough one. And I stand corrected. The Buccaneers are at home, but
So
I'm gonna stick with the Panthers.
Okay.
I don't like what I'm seeing from the Bucs. I'm just gonna be real. At least with the Panthers, they're up and down, and this was a down week, so I expect an up. Ravens.
I'm going Ravens as well.
Like what?
Yeah. Steelers lost too much. They just lost their big tight end, DK punching people, and
no JJ Watt.
No TJ,
TJ, excuse me.
Austin, the second receivers, he's not playing. It's sad to say, but
they yesterday was the game they were supposed to win. They're not winning this game.
Don't drop the soap team of the week, Steelers. There you
For
go.
sure.
Steelers. Great. But I think that's a perfect transition, though, because in order for the Steelers to be in this position, it had to be the perfect time. And Shedeur delivers a big victory over the Steelers to keep the AFC North open. And what led to this showdown that we're speaking about now, the Steelers and the Ravens. Before we go about the other conversations about the game, do you have anything to say about Shedeur's performance? Any thoughts?
It's getting tougher and tougher for me to see him as the starting QB next year. I think next year, I think he'll still be on the Browns. I know you disagree with that. I think he'll be entrenched as the backup. Your Deshaun Watson thing is starting to grow on me a little bit. I think what Shedeur has proven is that you can trust him if your main guy isn't there to hold you over for a game or two, get him healthy. It's some of these throws, man. I get the first interception. It's not necessarily his fault, but he has a lot of tipped interceptions. That's not a good sign. The second interception was just stupid, bro. Like it was probably one of the. It's not the worst interception because Dylan Gabriel had a worse one earlier in the season, but it was one of the worst interceptions I've seen all year. He just threw it up there, bro, off his back foot, getting chased away. Throw it out of bounds, bro. Not everything is a play, and I think it was only 2nd and 3. Live to fight another down, bro, and the fact that he's still trying to make these hero plays when you know you are he's not a dinker and dunker because he can dink and dunk, but those medium passes is his range. I don't think anybody throws a better medium pass than Shedeur Sanders in the NFL. And I know I'm going out on a leap here, but if you look at those medium range balls that he throws, they're so catchable. He puts them right in the bucket.
God damn. God damn.
This ain't don't drop the soap, but that's where you should be living, man. Stop trying to throw these nukes down the field. Even on that touchdown pass to Fannin, the ball was up there floating around. Fannin had to readjust. Kind of got him injured on it, but yeah, bro. I think he's a backup. I wasn't too impressed, but a win's a win in the NFL. So,
listen, like I told you, the perfect timing needs more timing. He holds the ball too long. Everything the scouting report said before he was drafted in college is coming to fruition. I still don't think he's a 5th-round draft pick.
No.
Is he a starter this year? No, but he can develop because you still see some promise, some potential. I mean, things we didn't see from Dylan Gabriel, who just played it safe. I like that Shedeur is being aggressive, and yes, he's making dumb plays. Look at Jackson Dart, who everyone thought was the second coming for the Giants. That dude want to ram his head into a pole all game. So
Cam Scatterable
Cam Scatterable too much. So I mean, he's a rookie. He's learning. Will he be the starter next year? No. I think it would be great if he sits as well.
But I'll say this: some off-season reps, will help too, because that didn't help him coming into these starts. But still, I don't see it.
Yeah, some maturity, all of that would be helpful. But yeah, I mean, in this division, it's a sad division. Somebody has to make the playoffs, so that's why it comes down to that showdown between the Steelers versus Ravens. But whoever loses that game, Chris, which AFC North coach do you think should be fired the most? Because all of them have underperformed. Is it Stefanski, Harbaugh, Zach Taylor, or Mike Tomlin? Which one got to go?
I think they all should go. For real. I think all of them should be fired no matter what happens. But it's Tomlin. I don't think he'll get fired, but I think the Steelers and Tomlin will part ways. And it's just time. It's just time. You tried it, especially if you don't win this game. You tried it, you failed. You went 9-8 with Mason Rudolph. I think you went 9-8 with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. And guess what? You're about to go 9-8 even if you do win with Aaron Rodgers. You are what you are right now with the Steelers, bro. You're never good enough to actually be contenders, and you're never bad enough to have a good draft pick so you can actually reload, bro. And I get it. The standard is the standard at the Steelers, but guess what? You haven't met the standard in years. I think the Steelers need to be bad in order for them to be good again, and it's just not in Mike Tomlin's DNA. So Mike Tomlin needs to go be good on an up-and-coming team that needs to be good, not on an old team that kind of missed their window. Not even kind of, that just missed their window. So if for me, I'm getting rid of Tomlin. He might not get fired, but he'd be number one for me to get off the board. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with your first point, everyone, but this division is so conservative, keeping coaches for 15 years plus, because Harbaugh has been there just as long as Tomlin. So on that note, I'm going with the most impactful fire that could be beneficial to the team is Harbaugh. All season, we've been asking, why aren't we running the ball with King Henry? There's been so much confusion. You've seen the highlights on the offensive line, and especially Falele. Or Falale.
Yeah.
I mean, no one can explain why is he still starting? Why haven't we looked for anyone else? These are things that are unexplainable. And to think that John Harbaugh was on his way out in the Joe Flacco era, Lamar Jackson extended his lifeline. It's over. I feel like he's wasting Lamar Jackson's prime. Imagine Lamar Jackson getting the right coach, getting a Sean McVay, like just one of those up-and-coming, young, promising coaches to get him over the hump. Because at this point, Lamar's carrying Harbaugh. And it shouldn't be that way anymore because Lamar is going to be out of his prime, especially as an athletic QB.
I'll say this to your Harbaugh point, and I've never asked this question. I'm not like a hater of Lamar because I wanted them to win the Super Bowl when I didn't think the Patriots were legit. Do you think he holds him accountable enough? Because he always misses like weeks and weeks and weeks of practice throughout the season, especially these last few years with like these nicks and bruises. And the thing is, in football, everyone's beat up, especially late in the year. So I don't think Harbaugh's been holding him accountable enough. Do you think that it's like a more of an ego thing? He has to protect himself or protect Lamar? What do you think is going on there? Because I'm starting to question Lamar. Yeah.
I think I think that's absurd that you're questioning Lamar. Lamar is carrying the team. I don't believe Lamar or anyone holds Harbaugh accountable because he was there before everyone, and he's the only one that can flash that one Super Bowl ring, and he's living off that. Lamar and them need to hold him accountable because Lamar was in MVP conversation last year. Probably should have won it over Josh Allen. The year before that, he did win the MVP. Each time we're putting it on Lamar, but we're not looking behind the scenes. It's Harbaugh. So, I mean, and knowing Lamar and seeing how mature he's been since he came into the NFL, Lamar has always held Lamar accountable. Hands down. In the press conference, anytime he puts it on himself. But it's time to look at Harbaugh and behind the scenes. So I hear Tomlin's not working with much. Maybe he didn't bring enough there, on the development side, but that's the GM's job. When it comes to putting players in position, that's the GM job.
They had Pickens.
Harbaugh, he got the players.
All right. Wait. Listen, again, I want to see all of these coaches gone. Every single last one of them. But we'll move on, man, to the coaches on the hot seat, to the coaches who are just hot right now, man. Coach of the year for 2025-2026 season. This was a tough one, Brian.
It's tough.
It's really tough because you got about 6-7 names that you could put into the hat here. Brian, who do you have for your coach of the year for this year, man?
I'm going with Ben Johnson of the Chicago Bears. What a turnaround in year one. Came in offseason, was looking a little bit shaky, especially in the preseason. Caleb Williams not playing, but he came in and built a culture there. And he's kind of steady. He steadied the ship for Caleb Williams so he can develop while the team is still having success. So Caleb Williams can still have his mistakes and still have errors, and they still win games. Kudos to Ben Johnson. Look what happened to the team that he left. And I think that's the biggest reason I'm making him the coach of the year because it's crazy. You transition in the same division, win that division, and the team that you left doesn't even make the playoffs.
Oh, okay. Listen, again, I can't really disagree with it, but
Yeah.
I'm going to have to disagree. Well, I can't disagree because the guy that I'm going to talk about is kind of in a similar situation as Ben Johnson. That's Liam Cohen. But the only difference is with them is that there was a little bit more expectations on Liam Cohen because of who the quarterback was. With Ben Johnson, I think they just wanted to see Caleb Williams develop.
Yep.
Regardless of what the record would look like, this, that, and the third. With Liam Cohen, I think they were in a similar boat, but they had to win games because we know from a physical toolbox standpoint, Trevor Lawrence has it all. He just does. But is he a winner? We didn't know that. Even with Urban Meyer, who was the coach before him? Doug, the guy from the Eagles. Yeah, he came in. I was just like, yo, we don't know. Yeah, Doug Peterson. We don't know about Trevor Lawrence. I think we know about Trevor Lawrence now. Do I think he's one of the top 5 QBs in the NFL? No. But after this season, he's probably going to be top 10 again in those discussions because he's running the football in now when he has to. He's keeping control of the football, not turning it over as much, especially these last few games. And then that you could see it, like there's this fire, like this will to win and drive in him that comes from Liam Cohen and the what's the word I'm looking for? The faith that he's instilled in him. So I think Liam Cohen had a little bit of a tougher job because he had to win games and he had to prove that, we have the right guy. I think the Bears knew they had the right guy. It was really just worrying about, can we develop those bad habits? Make him into an actual professional quarterback instead of a college quarterback. With Trevor Lawrence, you really had to see, we gave this man the money. Yeah. Is he our franchise?
Yeah.
So I got to give Liam Cohen a lot of credit, but again, man, this is pulling straws, man. For like, you could go with Mike Vrabel, Sean Payton, Shanahan's doing a bang up job.
Yeah, no, I love the Liam Cohen. I actually like him as one of my favorite coaches. He got a lot of fire in him, which Trevor Lawrence probably needed. The only thing I disagree with is the expectations. It's Jacksonville. Nobody cares. That's the only thing. I mean, their fan base is not the Bears, so that's the only other thing, because he could have had a couple bad years and been okay in Jacksonville. But yeah, I'll digress there.
No, that's fair. Listen, man, we're going to transition out of NFL football, but before we do, I got to get on my soapbox because my soapbox moment is about the NFL, and it's about the owners, man. Y'all are getting a little too greedy for my liking, bro. It's one thing to own a team and not own the stadium, but still make money off the ticket revenues. It's another thing when you want a new stadium and you pass 70% of the bill off to taxpayers like me who aren't billionaires, and then you're still going to reap the benefits of it all. But it's another thing entirely, man, when you're taking away what the game means. So last week it came into into the news that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be moving from Missouri to Kansas, even though it's still only about 10-mile difference. But the biggest problem I had with it is when I saw the renderings of the stadium. Another dome stadium that looks the same as every other damn stadium that I'm seeing. And then you couple that with the fact that the Bears, who plan to have a stadium, even though it's not going to be in Chicago anymore, they're talking about moving it to Gary, Indiana, which makes absolutely zero sense. It's about to have a dome stadium. Then you look at the Cleveland Browns. This to prove moving their perfect stadium, which is on the river, waterfront stadium, beautiful stadium, out to the suburbs. And guess what? Another dome stadium. Yo, football is about the elements. I know I'm screaming here, but it's getting really, really soft now, bro. It's about fighting the other man in front of you for every inch, every yard. It's about fighting the wind, fighting the rain, fighting the snow, bro, fighting the mud, fighting terrible windy conditions in grass that's torn up, bro. It's not about having the perfect settings for football. We might as well just get flags now, guys. Why are we even tackling anymore? What's the point? And the problem I really have is it's a lot of these Midwest teams, bro. That's your thing. It's cold. It's windy. You guys have the benefit of practicing and playing their majority of the season, so you understand how to win in those type of conditions. We're losing recipes. I'm getting really tired of it. If I see another dome stadium, oh my goodness, I'm really, college football might have y'all beat, y'all. What are we doing here? I know I'm just a small podcaster. It doesn't really matter. It probably won't even make much traction, but we're losing the spirit of the game. Each dome stadium that comes up, bro. I'm tired of it. You're in a cold city, play outside in the cold. The fans are still going to show up. It's football. It's been that way for the last 100+ years. That's my soapbox moment, bro. Let's move on. Dome stadium. Dome stadiums.
I love it. I love it. The weather adds to the dramatics. You know what neutralizes talent? Being cold. You got all those fast guys. Guess what? They ain't fast. You got all those fast guys. They ain't fast in the cold. So I love that take, Chris. I love that take.
Ask Tua. Ask Tua what it's like.
Ask Tua what it's like in the cold. But no, great take. Keep football as football. It adds to the dramatics to the game, especially in the playoffs where you got to travel. You got a winter storm in Buffalo, and now you don't know what's going to happen now because that team who got all that talent, guess what?
You said something. Shout out to the Buffalo Bills. They're getting a new stadium, not a dome stadium.
Let's go.
Not a dome stadium.
Let's go. That's a great soapbox moment, Chris. Let's keep going though. We're going to transition because you said what? College football might take the NFL and them extending to the 12 playoff format. I love it. It's been great. It's given us the James Madisons and the Tulanes. So, Chris, we're in the second round. We got to make our picks. Let's start with the first, our first game. Oregon versus Texas Tech. Who you got?
Oregon.
Texas Tech. Let's go. Alabama versus Indiana.
Roll Tide.
Let's go. It's about time you got back on the bandwagon, baby. Let's go.
Be back.
Ole Miss versus Georgia.
This is going to be the game of the weekend. I'm gonna go Georgia.
I'm about to say, boy, you in Georgia.
I gotta go Georgia.
Yeah, you gotta go to work, bro. I was gonna tell everybody who you picked. I'm going Georgia too for my safety. Miami versus Ohio State, a rematch of the national championship game before y'all youngins was born.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Ohio State in the blowout.
Easily. Old State all day, baby. Let's go.
All right. Listen, I like the way you move right by that. Just like we move right by that, this year has been moving by really, really fast. We're already at the 29th. Wow, that's crazy. 2 days left, y'all. So Brian, a lot has happened in the sports world in 2025. What is your favorite sports moment for the year? What do you think?
Well, it's the Ohio State Buckeyes winning the college football playoffs.
It's been a while.
It's been a while for our standard. You know, last time we won, we had Urban Meyer, Cardell Jones with the miracle coming in, starting the year off late.
Elliott.
Yeah, Zeke Elliott and them boys. I mean, what a phenomenal team. That was back in 2016. And the thing is, we've been back. Justin Fields couldn't get it done. CJ Stroud couldn't get it done. But we got it done this past year against Notre Dame, who I knew we was going to beat because they always lay an egg. So as soon as I seen that matchup, I knew we were going to win. So I'm truly ecstatic because Ohio State is back on top.
Okay, I like that one. My favorite moment was watching the Chiefs lose the Super Bowl, man. They were on the precipice of doing something that has never been done in NFL history. And it was crazy because going into that game, people were already talking about he's better than Tom Brady. He's better than Tom Brady. He's better than Tom Brady. Boy, did those discussions get put on pause after that game, man. Tom Brady ain't never lose a Super Bowl like that. And I'm so happy the Eagles beat him in that fashion that they did, not only stopping the three-peat, but stopping this asinine argument that Patrick Mahomes, who's nice, second best quarterback who's ever lived, is even on the level yet of Tom Brady. He could still surpass him. He has time, but not yet. Calm that noise down. So that was my favorite moment.
That's more like this is more like a Jordan Braun debate now.
Yeah,
because Jordan don't have no blemishes for real, really, in his finals appearances. Patrick Mahomes has been blown out twice in the Super Bowl. Twice. Yeah, keep that stat. Great. So this is our last show of the year. We're preparing to go into the new year. So we got some New Year resolution or some New Year sport resolutions for the year 2026. Chris, what would you like to see in the sports world happen in 2026?
Nothing would make me happier than watching Michael Porter Jr. make an all NBA team. Oh my goodness, it's possible, y'all. I don't know if y'all been paying attention to the Brooklyn Nets, but in the month of December, they are 8-2 in their 10 games, and Michael Porter Jr. is averaging just under 27 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists, guys. 4 assists. That's major for Michael Porter Jr. But he's doing it on an efficient 48% from the floor, 40% from the three-point line, and just under 90% from the free throw. Guys, Michael Porter Jr. is going to be third team All NBA at the very minimum. If he keeps this up throughout the rest of the year, knock on wood, he stays healthy. I don't even think it matters that the Nets probably won't make the playoffs. But if they keep playing the way that they do and make the play-in, he's definitely has a shot. He's already an all-star in my opinion, but he may make an all-NBA team. It's not outside of the realm of possibility. So that's what I want to see in 2026. Brian, what about you, man?
Boys, you crazy?
Yeah, Michael Porter Jr., the best podcaster in the NBA.
Stop it. Listen, I mean, great that he's putting up numbers. I mean, I feel like you have to be on a playoff team or at least make the playoffs to be considered for an all NBA team. And then what slot is he going in as a small forward, 2 guard, or 4?
The
3.
forward, they don't really have the position past the guard and forward now. It's dumb.
Yeah, there's a lot of players he would have to overtake, like a Jaylen Brown, who actually might make the playoffs. So, I mean, it's a wish. It's a wish, but you're asking for too much. I'm going to go with something I feel like is a little bit more reasonable for my 2026, resolution. I would love to see an NBA blockbuster trade. Let's get the season started. Let's get things interesting. And specifically, I would love to see if Giannis or LeBron James gets traded. Giannis recently came back, worried about his legacy, talking about his legacy. And we all know the only thing Bron cares about now is his legacy. So I would love to see a major blockbuster deal in the NBA to happen. Either Giannis to a major franchise like the Knicks or Bron come back to Cleveland.
Real quickly, who do you think is more likely to get traded, Giannis or Bron?
I believe Giannis is more likely to get traded. He's gonna fuss. He's gonna throw a tantrum. It's coming.
As he should.
The tantrum is coming. Yeah. I mean, that's what players eventually have to do. He's trying to do it the nice way, but the temper tantrums is coming in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, man. Listen, I was throwing a temper tantrum because I didn't get any of the gifts I wanted for Christmas. But we got a bunch of gifts on Christmas Day from the NBA. Boy, was it an amazing day. I think, all right, 4 out of the 5 games were good. But,
yeah, there we go.
4 out of the 5 games were good. But still, I think the NFL just has to take notice. It's not your day anymore. Just leave it to the NBA. Let the players get their days off. Brian, of those gifts that we were given by the NBA, which game what would you say is the best game for you?
The game that I was most excited to see and most tuned in for was the Spurs versus OKC. And they delivered, meaning the Spurs. Because boy, do I want to see the OKC Thunder taken down, specifically SGA. The Spurs got the Thunder's number. And honestly, the Spurs are built to beat the Thunder specifically. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because they got perimeter defense, just like OKC. Shea got to go up against D. Fox, Stephen Castle, Vassell get back. They have a plethora of guards that they can rotate off the bench as well to come in, get buckets, and play hard-nosed defense. And you know what sucks even more? When you get past one of those guards, you have a 7'5" monster that can jump out the gym to catch your shot. So now you minimize OKC to jump shooters, and you better hit everyone on the Spurs. Love that game.
Yeah, they punked OKC. Well, they've been punking them the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
honestly.
3-0.
Yeah, that's a good one. For me, I'll say this: the least person I like is Jalen Williams. I don't like Jalen Williams on the Spurs.
I don't think I like anybody on that team.
Yeah, there's a lot of people I don't
Chet
like.
either. Chet was a pussy that game.
Yeah, Chet gotta grow a pair, bro. You can't let Wemby punk you like this.
After talking all that shit,
yeah,
too,
you
crazy.
You gotta do something about that. Game of the day for me is I stayed up to watch this. It was a classic. It was Wolves versus Nuggets. And this is probably the best rivalry in the NBA. Now, not in terms of the rah-rah talking ish type of stuff, but in terms of just strictly hoops, what happens in between the lines. Every single last one of these 9 or 8 games that they've gone to have been great. And this one was no different, probably the best one out of the bunch. Jokic, what was it, 40?
Yeah, 50,
40,
yeah,
50.
54.
It's like, yeah, 54,
15.
15 and 15. Yeah. And then Ant on the other side, 44 points. Now, the refs kind of got involved at the end there, kind of took away the atmosphere of the game. You kind of want to see them battle it out, even if Ant is a little bit rah-rah extra. Who cares? Let's see them go at it because these two teams are very familiar with each other. But I would not be surprised if this matchup ends up happening in the playoffs. And I wouldn't be surprised if any of those teams took one of the other out. It just wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised if the Nuggets beat the Wolves or if the Wolves beat the Nuggets. I'll just say this. This division is one of the hardest in the NBA. You got OKC, you got the Wolves, you got the Nuggets. I think you got one more team that's kind of in the mix too. So I'm excited for the second half of the NBA, man, especially in the West. The East, it is what it is, but the West is an all-out dogfight.
Quick question.
What's up?
Wemby or Jokic? Best player.
It's still Jokic. It's still Jokic for now.
I'm starting to lean Wemby.
I'll say this: Wemby's on a minutes restriction and is killing right now. The problem I have with Wemby and is simply because like it's his frame. Guys at that height with that frame, they don't last long. Jokic, he just has skill. He can play till he's 45 the same way. But what Wemby brings defensively is
a game changer.
Yeah, bar none.
Like people talk about Jokic triple doubles and being able to do everything on the offensive end. I think Wemby is that impactful on the defensive side to where he takes the pressure off his entire team on scoring because the other team's not going to score either. That's scary.
I feel you on that. But with Jokic, and especially you saw with Rudy, he just brings you away from the basket. Because once he starts knocking down those middies and those threes, it's food, bro.
I get it, but Rudy ain't Wemby. Rudy,
you right.
Rudy can't move.
They both French. They both tall. Close enough.
Barbecue chicken.
No. Escargot. Oui.
Awesome. Well, on that note, it's time for another soapbox moment, but this time I'm stepping up on the soapbox and I got to get it off my chest. The NBA Hall of Fame has announced their new candidates with Blake Griffin, Jamal Crawford, Joe Johnson, Candace Parker, Mike D'Antoni, and a plethora of other people that are being listed as candidates for 2026. And my only thought came to, should these guys be first ballot Hall of Famers? And has the NBA Hall of Fame turned into the NBA Hall of Very Good? And I really am beholden by this because I feel like the Hall of Fame should be the upper echelon best of the best. Where do we draw the line on if a guy is first ballot? Should a guy get in this year, next year, or should a guy not get in at all? Because what I'm hearing now is the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, not just NBA, where guys can get in just for being good in college hoops, which is nice. Guys doing things overseas, which is nice. But I think we need to set a precedence for the NBA at least, where the elite of the elite can be recognized. The NBA needs to be just as hard as the NFL. Think about it. T.O., not a first ballot. A lot of the best receivers in the NFL, it's a rule. Receivers don't get in the first year. NBA, establish some rules for your NBA Hall of Fame to make it legit. I was going through a list of first ballot Hall of Famers, and I don't mean to stump on anybody's name as these were all great players. But T-Mac? Never been out of the first round of the playoffs? Vince Carter? Never led a team anywhere outside of the second round of the playoffs? Yes, he played for an extremely long time. Some say that's might be debatable. Pau Gasol. Some say that's debatable. Yes, he won championships, but if you think about his entire career, He's a 5-time All-Star. His numbers aren't that exciting, and he played during the era with a lot of great bigs, and he was never one of the best, the best big in the league. And there's plenty of other names on the first ballot side, but just in general, is Blake Griffin a first ballot Hall of Famer? He's never been to a Western Conference final. Jamal Crawford even being listed here. Listen, NBA, set a precedent. Make it not just the NBA Hall of Very Good, but the actual NBA, or make an NBA Hall of Fame to where the elite of the elite can be recognized for being elite. And we'll truly be able to distinguish a Chauncey Billups from an Isaiah Thomas. That's all I have to say. Any thoughts, Chris?
That's a good one. I can't disagree, except for Vince. I think those other guys aren't first ballots. Sure, they're in the Hall of Fame, but first ballot is crazy. But yeah, really good. I agree. The standard has to be set higher.
Yeah.
Because
you look at the NFL.
Yeah, the NBA it's harder to stay in the NBA than it is the NFL once you get there.
But still,
it's just like, and it's like the top 1% of the 1% only get into the NBA. It's so hard to get to the NBA. There should be an extra like threshold for them to get to the Hall of Fame.
Like so,
yeah.
So and then if you base it off All-Star games, I mean the East was weak for a long time where reserves were getting in. So is Darius Garland going to be a Hall of Fame in the future?
He might be.
Exactly.
Based off of their standards.
Exactly.
Based off of their standards.
Zach LaVine about to be in the Hall of Fame soon.
But yeah, speaking of lackluster standards, the Lakers were in a bit of a slump before winning last night against the Sacramento Kings, first 3-loss game of the season. The defense just hasn't been there these last few weeks. Ever since a certain someone has been re-entered into the lineup. And that certain someone is none other than King LeBron James, my GOAT. But Brian, has my GOAT LeBron James' time expired with the Lakers?
The answer is yes. And the reason that the answer is yes is because LeBron's relationship with JJ Redick has been severed. JJ Redick did not come in and bow to the king. LeBron probably thought that based on the podcast. Look what I done for you. Rich Paul and them put JJ Redick in position. But JJ Redick is bowing to no one. You've seen after the Christmas game, JJ Redick got up there and called the entire team out. Say the effort is terrible. They just don't care. JJ Redick has been going on the record multiple times saying the offense is a bit unorganized right now. Yeah, since somebody came back. JJ Redick is talking, and he's on their ASS. And I like it. Everyone's been mad about what JJ Redick is doing, but I feel like JJ Redick has a fire in him that I would want my team to play with that the Lakers just don't have. And I feel like the reason they don't have that is because there's an elephant in the room, and he ain't moving out the way. And right now, he's throwing temper tantrums because it ain't his way no more. It's time for LeBron to go.
I agree. So what did you say this should be his last year? Do you think he should retire?
I believe LeBron James should have retired this year. This should have been LeBron James last year. The reason I say that is because the longer LeBron plays, he will begin to hurt his legacy. He will begin to diminish his legacy. LeBron James can put up numbers till the end of days, but his numbers mean nothing when it comes to winning. And what made me really realize that is Russell Westbrook. My guy, Russell Westbrook, has been shifted off into the league, into the abyss, played off the bench. Numbers faltered. You send Russell Westbrook to a team that doesn't have any winning components to it, that doesn't win or doesn't have any true aspirations, Westbrook is a triple-double king again, putting up numbers. But guess what? Those numbers are not impactful to winning anymore. And I feel like LeBron has reached that point in his career where he can drop 25, 5, and 5, and they mean nothing to actual winning.
Again, I can't disagree. I just don't think he should retire this year, only because he's not going to get the farewell tour like every other great has gotten. I think LeBron does deserve that. And if he is going to retire, he should let us know before the season. Yeah, that way people should just show love. I don't like you said, I don't think he impacts winning anymore, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Once you have sciatica
Yeah, you just old.
You
just
old,
bro. Yeah.
You can't impact winning. But let's keep going. Well, we reached the let's say the first quarter of the season is over, usually marked by the Christmas Day games. Chris, so far this year, who has been the most impressive NBA team?
My most impressive NBA team is the Phoenix Suns. I think after last year and the debacle that they went through, fired another coach, blew up the team again. I really didn't expect them to be good this year, but right now I think they're sixth right now in the West,
above 500.
Above 500,
3 games over. Yep.
And then just the edge that Dylan Brooks has brought. I'm quickly becoming a big fan of Dylan Brooks. I was a fan of him in Memphis, not so much on the Houston Rockets, but
he delivered there too.
Yeah, he delivered there too, and he's delivering here. What I like about him, he brings a mindset. It's just like it's win or die, and that's what you need. You need that fire, like you talked about with JJ Redick. So the Phoenix Suns have been my most impressive team.
Love that. I was gonna go with Phoenix. I scratched that, and with the Celtics, they came out slow to start the year. We thought it was done. It was over. Right now, I believe the Celtics are 18-12, and Jaylen Brown has strung along at least, I believe, 5 or 4 30-point games in a row. And he has proven to everyone that he is a legitimate number one and franchise player. Kudos to you, Jaylen Brown. Kudos to the Celtics for staying strong.
All right, Brian, what about your most disappointing team?
Oh, this one hurts my heart. Y'all know I'm from Cleveland, so it's the Cleveland Cavaliers. Blow it up. I can't take it no more. I can't watch it anymore. Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs, what are you doing? Listen, I don't know if it's the coach. Matter of fact, I do know what it is. And I've known what it was since Donovan Mitchell came. We soft. Jared Allen, soft. Evan Mobley, soft. Darius Garland, soft. DeAndre Hunter can't never play, soft. The entire team is soft. They have no oomph about them. And it's all on Donovan Mitchell's back, who's only 6'1". He's 29 years old. He can't carry. Ship him. Get rid of Darius Garland. Get rid of Jared Allen. Let's move on. Let's get some better players.
That's fair. Yeah, the team has no grit.
No grit.
Cleveland's a gritty city. You got to embody the city.
We don't relate to that team at all.
Yeah. I'm gonna stay in that division. I'm gonna go Indiana. I knew Indiana would be bad, but I didn't think they'd be this bad, bro. This is pretty pathetic. They're the worst team in the league by by the standings. I think they've only won 6 games, 25 losses. And what's puzzling for me the most is that if you always looked at Halliburton's stats and the way he played, it wasn't like he was putting up some otherworldly numbers night in, night out basis. But damn, you're kind of seeing his value, bro. Every single time that they play, the Indiana Pacers just look lost. And it's weird because he's not a great defensive player. There would be nights where you'd only have 8 points, maybe 8 assists, and they would still win the game by like 20 points. I just don't know what the hell is going on with them. Team that made the finals last year, where it seemed like their strength was their depth. None of those players are performing well. Pascal's doing pretty solid, but Pascal's not a number one. We got to be real. So, in the end, I didn't think they'd be good, but I did not think that they would be this bad. They're the worst team in the NBA.
Yeah, they don't care. They lost hope after Tyrese Halliburton went down.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's keep it pushing to our weekly Atlanta Hawks conversation. What's going on with the Hawks? Is it trade day or May Day? May Day. The Hawks have went 0-6 since Trae Young has come back. Is it time to hit the panic button, Chris?
Brian, it's been time. I felt before he came back, I said, we got to make this trade for Giannis. That's the only piece you really need. The problem with the Hawks is that they're in the East, and that every year, since they're in the East, they're in that play-in area with a sub 500 record, and they somehow, some way, usually make it to the next round of the play-in or even the playoffs. They're really like the Steelers of the NBA. Never bad enough to really do good, even though they got Reese Shea and they're trying to trade him. And they're never good enough to actually be like true contenders. In this last 6 games, Brian, they've given up 125 points in each of those games.
Mm-hmm.
In each of those games. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like Jalen Johnson's some great defender this year. But I watched their last 2 games. Both Trae Young and Jalen Johnson cannot defend. I'll just be real. But with Trae Young, you can't be undersized and have no type of foot movement at all whatsoever, especially in a big guard East with Cade, with guys like Jaylen Brown bringing up the ball, with what's the guy Hollins from Milwaukee, or Tyrese Maxey, or Halliburton when he comes back for that fact, or Anthony Black from Orlando. There's just a whole list of them, and Trae just can't measure up. So I think the trade that I mentioned, which is Reese Shea, who hasn't played well, finding an expanded role with Milwaukee, you give him a pair with Trae Young, send over some picks, you get Giannis and maybe like his brother in return. Like, for real. Like, I think it works for both teams. Atlanta has a core that I believe, with an actual superstar, can make the finals. And Milwaukee, they're young enough where you can just reboot and have all of those pieces be bad, or heck, maybe even semi-solid, make the play-in. But you'll have two young pieces that you can build around for the future. I think the Hawks should really optimize this window right here, right now. There's already talk that they're going to move off of Trae. It's just really, what are they willing to give up? Give up some of those picks. And I think I mentioned they have New Orleans pick. New Orleans is one of the worst teams behind Indiana in the league. So you're likely going to get a top 5 pick, Milwaukee. Hit up the Hawks. Giannis, you would want to come to the Hawks, bro. It's time. You're not winning in Milwaukee. And the Hawks aren't winning with Trae Young. It's Mayday, Brian. It's Mayday.
Damn. That was good. It's Mayday.
Yes.
It's Mayday.
Yes.
Only because the type of season it is in the East is wide open. If the East wasn't wide open, it's trade day. I think you sold me when they got a strike now.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the Hawks would be better if they had Porzingis, because they literally lost
the rim protector.
Yeah. And so once you lose that and you got Trae and Jalen Johnson, even before Trae came back, the Hawks were losing.
Yeah.
So Porzingis being out, but we know Porzingis is going to continue to be out. That's a given. So how do you solve that? You get Giannis. So if the Hawks can pull that off, if Giannis agrees to that, he sees the potential in Jalen Johnson. I love Dyson Daniels and the core. This is the deal they need to pull. Giannis to the Hawks so I can go to a game and be excited.
Yeah. Listen, again, man, we appreciate y'all. We've been doing this for 3 months now, coming up on the end of the year, and we're growing ever so much every week, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in, subscribing, liking, reposting. But yeah, if you're interested in joining in the discussion and coming on the soapbox, reach out, man. We'll have our information. We'll be putting a lot more into 2026.
Yeah, and don't forget to like, subscribe below. We're going to keep hitting y'all with that good content. Let's go.
Happy New Year, y'all. Stay safe. We appreciate y'all. See y'all next week.